yours? Why on earth is your cupcake on my chair?
Because it's very special to me, so I can put it wherever I want. This is your fault. Now you have to buy me a new cupcake.
You're wearing a wedding dress to my wedding.
This is not a wedding dress. It's a white floor-length gown. It's very different.
Did it come with a veil?
No, it came with a headdress.
What?
It's the Al Travis Show. We have Senator Karin Housley on the program, and of course she's married to my good friend Phil. We're happy to have her on. How are you?
I am good. It's a beautiful fall sunny day, and your good friend Phil is out blowing leaves. He could hardly wait till he thought 7 a.m. would be a little too early to start blowing leaves. So 8 a.m. he's been out there ever since.
See, we just talked about it with Jay Caldwell. I loved Sunday. It was a pretty decent day here, warm. I could go out and do get all the outside stuff put back in the house, basically get the house ready for winter. And I love that day. TV's on. I'm smoking a cigar. It was a fun day. But you and I are different, I guarantee, in this. I am now done with that and am dreading winter coming. I think you and my buddy Phil are like, the times are changing life. You're one of those people that just enjoy every one of these seasons, which is weird. Just pick one and live with it.
Well, geez, you sure judged me before I even had a chance.
Well, because you lit up as soon as you said your husband's out blowing the leaves and it's a great day. You lit up. You like the fall thing.
You and I are not the same.
All right.
He loves fall. He loves winter. He loves all that stuff. I want summer for 12 months.
Okay. Okay. Now we're together.
I hate fall.
Okay.
I hate fall because I know winter's coming. I do like Sundays by the fireplace watching football, but when football's over, it better be summer pretty fast because I just hate it.
Good. Okay, now we're in the same boat. Okay, then I like that very much from you. Let me ask you this, though, because I haven't been able to do this with my buddy Phil for some time. Phil, Hall of Famer in the hockey world, coached a lot of different teams, not currently. In the Housley household, do you pick the game of the week and just watch it because you enjoy the game? Do you have a team that you're secretly rooting for? Do you kind of root against the last team you worked for? Are you having to root for Minnesota? How do you do that? You must be attached to a dozen teams in the NHL in some way. Friends of a friend who coached, you worked with?
16 teams that he either played for or worked with. Some of them he was traded from. Some of them he was fired from. Some of them he left on his own to move on up and out. So yes, there are columns, and we don't pick a team and say, let's follow them. We just, whenever we're bored, we'll go, oh, well, look at the such and such team is on. Let's watch them and hope they lose.
Do you? See, that's what makes Phil Phil. Phil's still a regular guy.
He won't say it. He won't say it. I say it. But it's a really weird way to cheer for a team when you're cheering for them to lose. And we just watch at the edge of our seats going, yes.
See, that makes Phil so human for me. I love that. That's what I love about the guy. So give me your who in hockey is showing you that they've got what it takes, and who is showing you they do not.
We are kind of freaking out because the Utah Mammoth, the team that moved from Arizona up to Utah, we didn't think they have new ownership. The same coaches that Phil coached with in Phoenix, who he loved. And Phil went to the New York Rangers, but brand new team for the city of Utah, and the Mammoth, they are leading the league right now.
Yeah.
Are playing off the chain. It's unbelievable. I'm so happy for them. And on the flip side, the New York Rangers, kind
of the other side. Three wins.
To show you, maybe it wasn't the coaching staff last year. I'm just saying.
Just a little bitter. Okay, not a problem. But then tell me, because your Rangers are very much like your Minnesota Wild right now. In fact, I think almost the same record. It is the same record. So what's going on with the Wild? We just paid the big guy the big money, and now we're ready to roll, and it doesn't seem to be rolling.
I am just so sad. They've got to turn this around. I don't know what it is. They haven't found their chemistry yet. They're making some dumb mistakes, and I don't know. It's going to turn around for the Minnesota Wild. I really. That's the one we're watching and cheering for because John Hines is a really good friend. Yeah, and spend all that money on Carell,
Yeah. So you keep me posted on what's going on in the NHL because I don't follow it all that much until my buddy Phil comes on a regular piece and does the NHL for me. Okay, will you do that? Thank you.
I will. We're kind of like all of the stuff that went down with the NBA and the gambling. And here I Arizona this weekend, and I was on my DraftKings app, and I wanted to, bet on somebody, but I thought, am I going to get in trouble doing my $5 for the Vikings to win?
What doesn't this? I mean, I'm glad you brought it up. We're going to just do sports segment with Senator Karin Housley because that's what we do. Doesn't this have the potential? We'll never get gambling in Minnesota. Not this year. Not after that happened. I mean, but doesn't it risk the fan duels? I don't mean to just rip on them. They get DraftKings or whatever it is. You see every commercial, every game on. If you can't trust your $5 an honest bet, I think the small guy gets out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to put $20 on something, over, under, and some guy and just pulls himself out of the game so he makes money, I think this is going to ruin sports betting.
Well, I don't think it's going to ruin sports betting because when you have a legitimate platform like that, they are tracking all of that stuff. I think it's the behind the curtain mafia gambling that's really throwing it all.
See, but that's what throws it off. And I remember the kid's name, Rodriguez, whatever his name was, playing, and he said, I'm going to take myself out after the first quarter. So they bet the over and under. The problem with the gambling now, you can bet on anything. Flip of the coin, who's going to have the home jersey. I mean, you can bet on anything. So they have a bet over and under. This player is going to make 20 baskets, 20 points, whatever. And he bets his own under and then leaves the game with a fake injury. That's what I'm talking about. It's those that they can control that you have no way of knowing.
But they will get caught. That's like, they will get, I have seen some of those DraftKings or whatever they're all the behind the scenes logistics and all of the screens. And they're watching, even when it comes to soccer and in the UK and all of that. There are, so these guys got caught because somebody figured it out when they were like, wait a second, he just pulled himself out of the game.
But that was 2 years ago, Senator.
Well,
so I'm Al, and I put $50 on that kid's. I know he's a good player. He's going to have no problem with the guy he's on defense with, and I put my $50 on it. I don't get my $50 back. That money's just gone. That guy's going to be in trouble, but the rest of us, we just lost our money.
Well, you kind of have that risk anyway when you're gambling.
But
you're that out there. You go to the little slot machine. You're putting that into the bowels of the casino.
Do this for me, if you will. And I don't. It's maybe a little personal with my buddy Phil, and he'll get mad at me. But like Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups played basketball for 20 years, whatever it is, made great money. Was a coach making very good money, and he's indicted now, innocent until proven guilty, of setting up rich people to play cards with him with an illegal deck counter and 5 guys playing against one. To what? Pull $500,000 out of some poor schmo? What am I missing?
We were talking about that. Like, you have such a successful career. You've made $1 gazillion. Why would you risk everything to go and do that? Like, I don't know what. That guy needs some therapy. Well, he'll have a lot of time to jail.
Have time to read. If this is all true, it just seems so weird that they made that all up.
Like, who would do that? I can't figure it out either. How? And now your name is tainted forever for you and your whole family.
Friends of mine are saying it's the gambling, it's the risk, it's that high risk thing. But when you fix the game, there's no risk. You're just stealing from Joe Schmo, who, by the way, you don't need his $50,000. It's so crazy to me on how it works. And then mafia, Senator, maybe you can't say this online. I don't know that I know a mafia guy. I don't know if I've ever met a mafia guy in my life. How do they get in there? I was working with the mafia. What do you call mafia as our house?
I think I told you, and I think I can talk about this, but it was a long time ago. And Phil was in a card game with players. Some of them were, say, Russian mafia.
Is that on their business card?
With a diamond necklace for me. And he goes, look what I won.
No kidding.
Oh my God. And
How do you know it's a rough?
That wasn't any big ring thing. This was just all of them.
Guys playing,
Guys playing. Somebody brings a diamond necklace and
see, that is I have no life, to be quite frank. I honestly, and if I ran into one at the grocery store, I wouldn't know. God, I've got to open my eyes up. We got to go to break. We have things going on here in Minnesota we have to talk about, and we'll do that right after this with Senator Karin Housley.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck, because that's exactly who we are, your friends at the Capitol. and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together conservatives, liberals, independents, and others to restore trust, respect, and goodwill in politics. We seek not to eliminate our differences, but rather deal with them head on, with respect and understanding. We do not try to change people's views, but how they view the other side. There will always be differences. Braver Angels Minnesota believes the best way forward is to change how we deal with those differences. Join the civil conversation at mn.braverangels.org.
Easily offended? The Al Travis Show is not for you. The Al Travis Show. All sides are welcome.
So this is where I get really upset, and Senator Karin Housley is going to tell me this can't be true. She doesn't believe it's true, and I will feel better. The old OLA, Jim Nobles, wrote a very interesting commentary in the Star Trip. And in it, you get down a little ways, because that's, you never put it at the top, because that way it doesn't harm as many people. He mentioned that the speaker at the time was thoughtful and supportive of OLA's work, but acknowledged some members of her caucus were quite upset. They felt the OLA reports were subjecting human services programs to too much criticism. She also said, as a former prosecutor, she knew fraud in OLA they were addressing was real, needed to be investigated, but she did, however, acknowledge House committee chairs had been instructed not to give the OLA reports about fraud any public hearings. If I'm not mistaken, we, the taxpayer, pay for an OLA, an Office of Legislative Auditor. House people and Senate people can say, something looks a little funny to me. Let's say autism started at $3 million. 2 years later, there's $100 million. Please take a look into it. And they go look. And if they see something, they write it up, and then they come up with ideas on how to fix it, right? Am I right so far?
Yep.
So we did that on this fraud stuff, and then we bring it to the committee chair, and the committee chair said, thank you, we're not going to talk about it in committee. How is that possible? Why am I paying for an OLA?
Oh, I feel so bad for the previous OLA, Jim Nobles, and the one we have now. Their hands are tied. All of us legislators at the beginning of session, we fill out a form and we check the box of which department or which agency we think needs to be audited. And we get that from our constituents or where we see something's happening. So a lot of thought goes into this, and they spend a lot of time and a lot of work. Judy Randall is one who's in charge of it now. She's got a great team, and they are bipartisan. They're like numbers people.
Yeah.
They go in, they do their work, and they come back with a report. And it's absolutely shocking that I think the chair of the House Human Services Committee back then was Tina Liebling. It still is Representative Tina Liebling. And for her not to have that report front and center, especially, there's stuff in there we need to know. To not hear it is, I didn't know that until Jim Nobles wrote that article. I didn't even know that that was a report that hadn't been heard. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I know you're going to say, why isn't there outrage over this? Because I'm 100% with you. Like, why isn't Channel 5, Channel 4, 9, 11, why are they all not jumping on this? I remember back in 2020, I had the Office of the Legislative Auditor do an audit on the Office of Health Facility Complaints. And that was where all of the complaints at our senior living facilities would go to. And they just started stacking up, and nobody was investigating these. It was a complete wreck. But the OLA did an audit of the place, came back with a report. And the only reason that got all the coverage was because of these senior groups that went ballistic, and rightly so. But Minnesotans aren't going ballistic over this report because just another case of fraud under the Walz administration. There are no organizations of people to get together and go crazy.
That's where the Minnesotans need to. The speaker supposedly said she acknowledged the House committee chairs. She did, however, acknowledge that House committee chairs have been instructed not to give those reports out in public hearings. Well, if you're the speaker and they're running the committees, who's telling them not to? Must be somebody higher up. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the guy running for his third term? I don't know. You talk about Channel 9, Channel 5, Channel 11, the Star Trib itself. Once you read that and you realize the only name given out was Senator Hortman, God rest her soul, but because she has already passed, all the others were left with no names. Right. Isn't that the next day's story? Let's go find out who told them you can't bring those. Why am I not hearing it?
Why are we not interviewing Representative Tina Liebling, and why didn't you hear that OLA report that Jim Nobles just said was out there and you refused to hear it? Because why? But right, they don't name Tina Liebling because she's still alive and she still has some power because she's still the chair. So
but what bothers me, Senator, the rest of us don't. I try to keep up on this stuff. The rest of the world doesn't. You're going to work. You got to go pick the kids up. You got to get into basketball practice. You're doing all your things. You think they're going to be able to read the story and say, that really bothers me. I wonder if it's just another fraud thing or if I got to really delve into it. Then when you delve into it, say, now I got to go find out who was the chair of the House committee in 2022. No one's doing that. We don't have the time. That's what the Star Trib's for. That's what the newspapers are for. Why are they not doing it?
Just because we have a left-leaning media, and Governor Walz has his thumb on these people. And anytime you call out the media on it, I have a really good friend at one of those stations, and boy, did he come after me when I said, why aren't you asking those questions? Because Walz still has a lot of power, and he will retaliate in some way against these media stations. That's my opinion.
Okay. It just drives me crazy. You actually
Alpha News. You and Alpha News. That's what we got.
Yeah, but I'm not news. I don't have any staff that goes and tries to figure this out. If I got to go figure it out, I got to go online and find out. I could, but that's not who we are. I just read the stories, try to get people to know what's going on, and I didn't know about this. And I was there at the time. It's just crazy to me that as much as I do read and follow along, I had no idea. Drives me nuts.
Well, and Back then, I'm sure members of the Health and Human Services Committee in the Senate who voted to hear this report, they're trying to get that information out to the media themselves, yet they just got squashed because of who was in power. So it's so frustrating to me on this side when you know all of this stuff and you try to tell your neighbors, we do press conferences, press releases, we do our Facebook, we do videos. It goes nowhere.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, but I thank you for letting me spew that out and get a little off my chest today. It just drives me crazy. I try hard, and I appreciate you come on and talk with us every week. And again, I don't think we're the news media, so to speak, here, but we're a talk station, and we'll talk about it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad that you do, and I think maybe you should try and get an interview with Representative Tina Liebling.
I'll see what I can do. I'll get on there, and I'm going to, again, the governor's welcome to here on any time and discuss all this. I'd love it. I'd get Steve Simon on, all of them. Just don't seem to be calling me. I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know why.
Senator, you have yourself a nice week. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, you.
Senator Karin Housley on the Al Travis Show.